Okay, so tell us what your business does.
Yeah, so basically what Epic Studios is it's a consulting firm. So we come in with companies and we'll help them in any areas that they need really. So whether that's marketing, sales, product development, even down to things like inefficiencies within production. But the two things that we don't actually really handle would be the actual production of the goods and then the logistical aspects behind the transportation of those goods.
So when did you start this business and what made you want to do this?
So we began the business back in August of 2011, and the main goal behind us creating and beginning this business really was to get a little bit more experience within an entrepreneurial setting, within a business world, before even coming to college. Knowing that we were both going to likely go on to companies, hopefully graduate, go into middle management, continue to move up, and be a VP or president by someday. We thought this would be a great way to get us on the right track.
What kind of skills do you guys possess that made you gave you a leading start from other company starters?
I think one of the skills that we definitely possess would be time management skills, as well as a real vision and having the drive to then complete that vision. So because we knew what we wanted to do, how we wanted to go about creating this business, and really had clear goals, we were able to figure out the steps that were needed in order to reach those goals, and then we took action and worked towards those steps.
Okay, so a lot of people have fears about starting their own business. What made you think that you could do it?
So we definitely had our own fears about starting a business, and we were worried, especially with how young we were, about the business not really taking off and getting a foothold. But I think for us what it was this willingness to learn and this willingness to work. We did know that coming into it we wouldn't have the greatest business acumen, we wouldn't be the smartest guys out there, but we were definitely going to be the hardest working. And I think that was really what enabled us to be able to really take off. People loved our business work ethic, our drive, and our ability to not just make deadlines, but continually beat them and exceed expectations.
And were there any moments when you felt discouraged, like you wanted to back out? And if so, what made you keep going?
There definitely were. I remember back when we were meeting with some of our first clients, and because we didn't really have a large portfolio, we didn't have a large client base, really any references, a lot of companies were skeptical to take us on, especially with how young we were. But the one thing that I remember really kept us going was holding on to this idea that we could have our own business, that we really could do this, and that if we continue to put in that effort and we continue to put that work in, that one day we would be able to grow the company. If you had asked me back in August whether I would have been flying to Barcelona to meet with potential clients, or that I would know that we would have such a large client base now, I definitely wouldn't have believed it. But looking back, it's amazing to see what we've done, and I definitely chalk that up to the hard work and our resilience.
Now I understand that you and Nick both speak Spanish fluently. Can you tell me more about how that's influenced your company and your clients abroad?
Yeah, so definitely having that foreign language component has certainly helped us with expanding our business, especially as we started to look global. We had actually found a client in Barcelona that was looking to come on board with us and use some of our services. So this past summer we decided to fly out there and meet with our client face to face. It really was a very rewarding trip, especially to see that something that you study here, be it a foreign language or business, really can play off in a different setting outside of the United States, as well as it gave us a better understanding of the global business culture, mainly that within Spain and within the Catalonia region.
What is the largest business that you have?
The largest business that we've ever worked for has about 50 clients. I can't say who it is due to confidentiality agreements, but that's the largest business that we've worked with today.
And how many employees do you guys have of your own?
Currently we have 4 employees. Basically, we base it on temp contracts depending on the project length. Because we are a consulting company, we don't necessarily, and we are a growing business, we don't necessarily know how many projects we'll have. So rather than bringing on full-time employees and having to worry about working through all those different aspects of contract negotiations and things like that, we bring people on a temp basis depending on what projects we have and what areas of expertise we need. So say we're working on web development, but Nick doesn't necessarily have the time to do it, I don't have the time to work on HTML. We might bring in someone who has a background within graphic design to help us out with that aspect of the project.
Okay, and what do you look for in the contractors that you hire?
So out of our temps, we definitely look for people that complement our skill sets. So, you know, for myself, I have the ability to make sales as well as I've got a pretty decent marketing background at this point now. So definitely being able to bring in someone that has a little bit more of a technical aspect, someone that has those skills, or if we're working in a certain area that we don't necessarily understand as much about it, we'll bring in someone within those.
Okay, so tell me about the branch of market that you're in.
Yeah, so we designed Outcast Studios to be a consulting firm, so that way we'd be able to enter multiple different markets. So as a consulting firm, we don't necessarily have to be pigeonholed within a certain area, and that's been something that's been very valuable to our company.
Okay, so what barriers do you face with that market?
I would say that a lot of the barriers that we face is that come from us being a small company, from not really having a lot of name recognition, and because of how young we are. Because of all those things, a lot of people are very skeptical of our company and are not necessarily as willing to gamble, for lack of a better word, on our skills and on our services. But what we found is that through slowly building that client base, through working with smaller companies, we're beginning to get a lot more of those references and a lot more of those recommendations coming back to help us then in the future.
So what niche would you say you're a part of?
I would definitely say that the niche that we have kind of found, it comes back to our consulting. It really has come down to us being able to get out, talk face to face with our clients, and being able to go to them, speak with them, rather than just sending a full email or a full phone call. And it's in those one-on-one interactions that we have really, truly begun to find our niche.
So how do you get on school with all this?
Yeah, so it certainly has presented a challenge, especially as the courses have gotten harder and harder. But one thing that we recognize is that because we are in school right now, we try to take on only as many projects as we know we can handle, and that we know we can complete to the fullest of our abilities.
Okay. So you take this through school. Where do you see it going after school?
I definitely see myself continuing to build this business and continuing to grow it after college. Because of the work that we've put in so far, it's definitely something that we want to continue working on. At some point, we'll probably begin to weigh the cost in our time versus the cost of the company, and likely sell it at some point when we analyze the markets and determine that would be the most profitable move for us to make at that time.
Okay. And you start this business going into college. Where do you get these skills?
I would say definitely a lot of them came from kind of my upbringing. Like I said, you know, we didn't necessarily have the same education as a lot of other people within this market. We didn't have the same knowledge base that they did, but we did have that drive, that work ethic, that compassion, those sales skills. And I would definitely say those came from my childhood, from my parents always, you know, reminding me to be open to learning new things, to always putting together my best foot, putting my best foot forward, and really just always making sure that whether it's cleaning bathrooms or, you know, putting together a new strategic plan for a company, that it's something that I would sign my name to and be proud of.